You are tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Share this live. Put the chips down, turn the TV off, sit back, relax, get some of this good boxing talk. As you can see, as usual, we got the VP in the building. VP Shane, what's going on, good brother?
Good and ready, man. Ready. Just I have a hangover of all the good boxing you said. I'm just gonna come
You got
down.
a boxing hangover?
What are you drinking?
Nah, that's just some. Listen, this is just some iced tea right now. But look, for the right price, you know, if you got a soft drink, soft drink company or something like that, we taking sponsorship opportunities. You know what I'm saying? You can get on the screen. You know what I mean? Hit us up. We got my bro L Dub Boxing in the building. That's my bro. He will be in here in about a good 15 minutes. Swaro is in the building. Swaro, what's going on?
Yeah, as I was saying, bro, I'm just on a boxing hangover. So
Shane is in a boxing hangover right now from all of the good fights over the weekend, man. Just to get it started, what we're gonna do today is we just gonna recap what happened over the weekend. And we're gonna touch on a couple of topics. Arthur, we say Beterbiev, but they said Beterbiev. We gonna go with Beterbiev. We on our damn show. We gonna call him Beterbiev.
Better has two T's. Better has two T's, so I don't understand how it's Beterbiev. Better has two T's.
Yeah, we going with Beterbiev. We like it better that way. So he got his victory in the 10th round. Game opponent, man. Game opponent. Adam Dean's got a chin. He definitely got a chin. We got Vergil Ortiz.
You owe him an apology, don't you? You owe him an apology.
I did do the apology via a regular video, but I will do one after these introductions. I will definitely do that. Vergil Ortiz, possibly the fight of the weekend, stopped Maurice Hooker in a very entertaining fight. We'll definitely get into that. And third fight. Lawrence Okolie. Yeah, he's
WBO champion.
Yeah, WBO champion of the world. A certain somebody said they're a paper champion, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But Okolie looked really, really good. Let's get started with Arthur Beterbiev.
What I'm happy with. That's good. Blaze Philly said he can jump on. Look at the comments.
Yeah, Blaze Philly 215, man. Big shout out to you, bro. He said, "What's good, fellas? I might get on tonight." Text me and let me know. I'll shoot you the link, bro.
Right, yeah. When it comes down to, I was overall happy with the fights, man. I don't think any fight disappointed in terms of the entertainment value. I think all of them had good entertainment value, and they all had a showtime ending. A good showtime. I think all of them ended. All the big fights ended in knockouts. All had a showtime ending, and they all singles. So that's good.
Absolutely. Beterbiev was more of an accumulation of shots. But big shout out to Adam Deans, man. Like he showed a lot of heart in that fight, man. Lot of heart in that fight. To get put down early and to recover and still, go in there trying to fight, trying to win. Kudos to him because he did more than probably 90% of the guys that would have been in that same situation.
When they get touched by Beterbiev, their intentions change. We said that before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
When Beterbiev touches you and you feel that power, you go from trying to win to trying to survive. And Dean gave it his all the whole fight. And I was watching the fight and I'm thinking, because someone who was watching the fight with me, they weren't a massive boxing fan. So they were like, oh, what's going to happen before the fight? And I was like, yeah, Beterbiev's going to knock this guy out quick. And when I was watching, they were like, oh, they were casual, so they obviously had casual mentality. Oh, this guy's surviving. This guy's giving a good chance. And I was like, no, this guy's got heart and he's got a lot of courage,
Right.
And I said that he had a lot of courage for him to just stay in the fight for so long and literally give it his all the whole way through. I thought that was brave by him. I thought that was real brave by him.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm in so much of a good mood. I told L Dub I sent him the link in like 15 minutes. I couldn't wait no more. That's one of my
I mean,
favorite
I want to
guys
get
to
him in
talk
the line
to.
definitely for the Okolie one because he
Yeah,
seems like a massive fan
I
of
listen.
Okolie.
I didn't send him the link already, man. I can't wait, man. I'd already done sent him the link. So we gonna have L Dub boxing in the building. Big shout out to the bro. Blaze Philly 215. Hopefully he'll be able to jump up in here. I know the general's listening. Boxing First Vlog. Big shout out to him. And just going back to the Beterbiev fight. You have to credit Beterbiev as well, because a lot of
Of
times
course.
guys get knockdowns in the fight and they either automatically go for the kill or they lose their cool and they end up getting in trouble. But Beterbiev was okay with consistently just beating down his opponent. And you gotta be kind of a sick individual to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be a sick individual to be like, you know what? I'm whipping his ass, but I want to whip his ass some more. Like, it's a certain psychological thing that
But you
goes
know
with
what
that.
it is with Beterbiev? He has a stigma attached to him. So obviously because of his knockout ratio, and I felt like he felt that the more he hit him, the more like Dean's really didn't pay Beterbiev any respect, and that's so
Nah,
crazy.
he
He
didn't.
went in there to win, and the more Beterbiev hit him, I can't even say his resistance broke down because he was there all the way through the fight,
Whole
trying to
time.
win. And I feel like if he didn't try to win, he probably would have went the distance because his chin was clean. The only reason why he actually ended up getting knocked out was because he was trying to trade shots. And I felt like when
Yeah.
he had the high guard up, even though he was getting hit clean, especially with those uppercuts, he weren't even moving. He was actually throwing back, and I just thought, wow, that was impressive. But I want to, sorry to cut you off, Jeff. I want to say this though: if those in the 175 division think that because Dean's done it, they can do it, they're sadly mistaken. Because my brother said something, and this is a true. This is how you know I'm grooming him to be a real hardcore fan. He said, "What you find is sometimes fighters with the best chin are journeymen or guys who aren't at that top level because they're used to getting hit so much, and the guys at the top level aren't used to getting hit. So if you're at that top level thinking, oh, Dean's took Beterbiev's best punches, you're sadly mistaken because his punch, you just have to have that punch resistance."
Yeah, I think Beterbiev gets some type of sick pleasure out of really punishing guys. I think he looks like he's enjoying it. You know what I mean? He looks like he's enjoying it. Like, whether it's a one hit quitter or he's just beating somebody down for like 3-4 rounds. That's why I say he's the biggest puncher in the business. And I know a lot of people will say Wilder, but that's just the right hand.
Yeah,
I think both hands, Beterbiev is the biggest puncher in the
and any
business.
distance as well, any distance, any shot.
Any
Like
distance,
Beterbiev generates power from literally just like that.
he got short power. He got short power, long power, beginning of the fight, back end of the fight, middle of the fight. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's crazy with it. And we gonna go right to Okolie because we got my bro up in here. L Dub Boxing. What's going on, player?
It's finally good to see the man behind the
Yeah,
mask,
man. It's good to see the face behind the legend.
Yo, what's good with y'all, man? Salute to y'all for allowing me to come on the platform, man. I appreciate
Brother,
you guys.
I told Dub, I said, Shane, I told Dub I was gonna put him on in about 15 minutes, man. I was so fucking happy. I was like, man, I can't wait no more, man. I said, I gotta get my bro on for the show. But since we have you on, we have to jump into the Okolie Glowacki fight. And Shane and I was having a discussion about some of the technical stuff that was going on. So I actually want you to jump into it. What did you think of Okolie's performance, and just technically, what were you seeing in that fight?
He was keeping the range, and he was using that jab. And he don't lose that many rounds. So I really expected that, you know what I'm saying, for him to use the range and his jab and I thought he could have unleashed that right hand a little bit earlier, but he was waiting for it because Glowacki kept bending down. He was bending down a lot, so he kind of timed that shit perfect. When he landed that right hand, that was it. But his range, his footwork was pretty good too. This fight, I mean, this is probably the best I've seen him. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah,
calm, he was poised.
I agree.
Right, and the jab laid the table, man, and then everything else just fell with it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a perfect performance, really.
Me and Jeff said before the fight, and we said that Okolie will struggle with the footwork in terms of getting his foot on the outside, and in the early rounds, we said in the first maybe 2 or 3 rounds, he would struggle with the footwork, and he did struggle with the footwork. But what he was ice cold with was that jab, and he still found a way to keep. Even though Glowacki was on the outside, he still managed to keep him in the center of his right hand. What I was disappointed with because obviously I don't want to keep it one-sided, but what I was disappointed with from a Glowacki perspective was, whilst this is what I found crazy. So this was Okolie and this was Glowacki. Glowacki was going like this and he was getting on the outside, but he was still tipping his head back into the line of the right hand. So even though his body was on the outside, because he was going low, he was still in the range of that right hand to go down. And if you look at the knockout, his body's on the outside of Okolie's left foot, but his head is literally on the inside of Okolie's hand. So as he's tipping, it's just gone straight down the pipe because he's literally tried to get low. And there's 3 ways you try to change the level. You can change the levels like how Tank does it, for example, where he's square and he's going forward and he's low, or you can do it like how what's the other guy does it? People like Tyson Fury, who's always trying to do that herky-jerky type thing, and you can do it like how Andrade does it, where he tips forward and tries to load up with that big backhand left or big backhand right. Glowacki tried to deploy the Andrade style, but the problem with that was he wasn't throwing that big shot out of range, and that was the problem. I wanted to see him throw a lot more shots out of range. If you throw shots out of range, then what that does is you draw a line in the sand saying, every time you cross this path, something's going to be coming at you. Okolie was too comfortable throwing punches, knowing that this guy was trying to counter him on the way out. You should really be trying to counter him on the way in. And that's what I was disappointed with from a Glowacki perspective, but it was a fantastic performance from Okolie.
Hey Shane, let me piggyback off that real quick. The thing that was most impressive with Okolie is he didn't win the battle of the footwork. He wasn't even trying to. He wasn't even trying to. And the reason why is exactly what you said. Glowacki kept his head on the line, even though he had the battle with the footwork won. When an orthodox fighter is fighting a southpaw, it's up to the orthodox fighter to win the battle first, then start throwing the shots. This is probably one of the fewest fights I've seen in boxing history where a guy comes into a fight purposely not trying to win the battle with a footwork, and he's still landing the jab clean. But because of Glowacki's head placement, it really didn't matter. He was getting low. His head never went side to side. So even when he was low, but his head was still in the middle. Even when he was high, he was still in the middle. Nothing was going side to side.
It was very weird because it's like, imagine this is his body. His head kept tipping forward. So you're still in range of the right hand. If you kept your head to the side, then you're off the line. But his head kept tipping forward. So you're still in the line of the shot.
It was funny. He was getting low, but his face was in the screen like, hit me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Dub.
That works. It works if you're leading. Sorry to cut you off, Dub, but it works if you're leading because Andrade does that all the time. But if you're leading and you draw a line in the sun, as I was saying every time you try to hit my head, something's coming back at you. Then it doesn't matter. But he kept trying to counter and it didn't work.
Yeah, he was doing that, but he wasn't throwing no punches. He wasn't initiating. Go ahead, Dub.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to touch on. He wasn't active with his punches or his work rate. And Okolie was able to walk to his left hand, you know what I'm saying, which is supposed to be a no-no. And that actually kept his range a little bit better because Glowacki was trying to load up with the left hand. And that's a long reach when you got a guy 6'5", 6'6" with a long reach that's out the range, you know what I'm saying? So I like the performance, man. You know what I'm saying? It was impressive. I thought it was like his best performance, and you can tell The way he messing with Shane McGuigan. You know what I'm saying? I think this is like the second or third fight, something like that. So I feel like that's perfect timing. So they kind of meshing real well, and he's following the game plan perfect because that was a big step up for him.
Again, I feel like that's more down to dimensions than anything, because in other fights, let's say for example, a fight against someone like Dorticos, for example. Not saying he will lose to Dorticos, but because Dorticos has a lot more range and he's a lot taller and a lot more wiry, he might be able to reach that extra further with the jab. You see my point? Because Glowacki really wasn't landing with his jab. That was the biggest problem, and he wasn't active enough. And I feel like with Shane McGuigan, if you the best example of this was, do you remember when, because Shane McGuigan also trained George Groves, and you remember when George Groves fought Chris Eubank Jr.? It was literally very similar in terms of the style that they tried to deploy, where they're going to stand behind that long outstretched arm, and every time your head's in a line, bam. Every time your head's in a line, bam. It was literally the same thing that he done, the same tactic that he done against Eubank that Okolie used. And I thought it was good. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy watching, because I'm like,
Let's
waiting.
Let's get to the paper champ comment after, though.
I'll get to that in a second. God of Green, he said, yo, he said, salute. Appreciate you stopping in. You know, the thing that was crazy with Glowacki.
Is God of Green new?
God of Green, if you're new, subscribe to L Dub Boxing, subscribe to myself. Go follow Shane, L Dub, and everybody else that's in here. But we appreciate you jumping on, man. We really do. The thing that was crazy with Glowacki is I was waiting. L Dub, I hit Shane up, right? I said, yo, I'm like, Okolie is open for the left hook. I'm like, Glowacki just got, he just has to take the risk to land it. He refused to step forward and throw the shot at the same time, because that's the only way he was gonna get it home. Close the distance and throw the shot at the same time. You know who was great at that? You know who was great at that? Sergio Martinez. He was great at that. Actually taking that angle, stepping in, kind of get your eyes low, and then he throws that hook over the top. That's what he called Paul Williams with. You know what I'm saying? His is more of a straight shot, but you know, same concept. But he never took the chance.
But he was so scared of what Okolie was throwing. But me personally, I would have tried to test his inside game. I would have said, you know what? If you're gonna hit me, you're gonna hit me at short distance, and I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna load up on that left hand. But when I load up, I'm falling into smother everything that's coming back at me. So unless you got a good uppercut, you're not really going to hit me with anything. And I would have taken that risk. If I was Glowacki and I realized I'm winning the battle of the feet, I would have gone with a jab, which I'm going to deliberately throw short to just line you up for that big overhand left. If that falls short, I don't mind, because guess what? I'm going to be right in your chest because I'm going to fall in. And he was scared of that.
And I don't even think Glowacki took one step to the right all night.
Nope.
That's all. That's all he had. Yo, all he had to do, he didn't have to take a full step to the right. He could have took a half step to the right. He'd have been in a whole different punch radius. On top of that, he would have took either steam off of the jab, or he would have totally avoided the jab. Like, I don't know. I've seen him fight so much better than that from a technical standpoint. And it was just like, and you know what? Boxing Lowdown, big shout out to Boxing Lowdown. He hit me and he said Sky Sports announcers was like Glowacki was being slick. I was like, when? I was like, just because you getting low don't mean you're being slick. I'm like, you were literally getting low. You didn't move your head to the left. You didn't move it to the right. You didn't take no half step to the right. You didn't take a full step to the right. I'm like, you didn't try to throw no hooks, no body shots. You didn't even throw a jab. You supposed to jab with the jabber. So even though you're the shorter guy, jab with the jabber. I mean, we see Sean doing it all the time.
Yeah. I was gonna say to you. So let's address the paper champion comment. I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah. Okay, do you know about it? You know about it?
You talking about
hit me up. He knows. He
knows. Okay, well, L Dub, go rock out. Go ahead.
So with the Breeders and Glowacki situation. So my feeling is I'm blaming referee Bird. If he would have done his job You know what I'm saying? And maybe give Gawacki some time, at least a 5 minute. You know what I'm saying? Like they give guys to get low blows, and then maybe assess them after that. Then maybe it wouldn't have been that crazy situation. Now Gawacki was blamed for that because he did throw a behind the head shot, and then my man Breeders retaliated with the elbow. So I felt like by him not giving him that opportunity to recover at least the 5 minutes, and then have him go right back in there with a big puncher, that's kind of messed it up. And I think the WBO was actually trying to, favor Gawacki because of that. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little alibi or something like that. Because that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you was. Oh, go ahead.
So this is the thing, yeah? And I agree with you 100%. Even in the same fight, this guy let the round go on for like another 40 seconds for Gawacki to get knocked out. Jeff, this is the fight. Remember when Roland was here and we were saying we couldn't hear the bell ringside? Remember that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is the same fight. This is the thing. I get that 100%. The referee made a mistake. But my argument is very simple. He is the champion. So, okay, you're going to say that he has to fight Gawacki straight away. What I don't understand is Gawacki didn't fight for the belt up until now. So how has stripping Gawacki of the belt benefited the WBO or even benefited boxing? Because what I don't understand is you stripped him really and truly just to give him an opportunity to duck the Bradis rematch. Right, remember, Bradis is contractually obligated to fight Dorticos because of his WBSS situation. Right. Give him an opportunity to fight that fight that he's contractually obligated. But they didn't. They just stripped him of the belt. And the thing that I find funny is they stripped him of the belt and they knew he had a contract obligated with somebody else. And then they didn't even order Bradis to fight Gawacki after the fact that Bradis beat Dorticos. So what I would have done was very simple. After Bradis beat Dorticos, which was last year, I would have said, you know what, Bradis versus Gawacki now. Now you're free, fight me now. Remember, the belt was already vacant. You could have ordered that fight last June, last July, last August, but instead they waited all the way until this year, March, before they ordered a fight between Gawacki and Okolie. I don't get that. I don't get that.
Shane, can I tell you something, brother?
Go on.
Anything that makes common sense to guys like L-Dub, yourself, and me, the sanctioning bodies is not going to do it. Like, it's just everything you said is correct, but that makes too much sense for them to do it. And this is why I rock with L-Dub so much. L-Dub might be the only other person that actually emails the sanctioning bodies.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought I was, once L-Dub told me that, I was like, me and him gonna be cool. Me and him gonna be all right. Cause it's been plenty of times I done emailed them, and you know what? They get back to you. Even if they answer bullshit. Even if they answer bullshit, they will get back to you. We got Unrivaled Boxing Talk in the building. Big shout out to you, family. The reason it's good for boxing is if you can become a champion via blatantly fouling, is set up as a bad precedent. Go ahead.
Who fouled first? That's what I want to know. Who fouled first? Before the punch behind the back of the head, Gawacki was clearly using his head in the clinches. Then he punched Bradis behind the back of the head, and then Bradis retaliated. To me, if you want to foul, we will both fight dirty. That's how it goes. That's boxing. And then for those who say, oh, well, Bradis fought after the bell, if you watch the fight back, Gawacki was the first person to throw a punch after the bell. And in fact, he done that in the Steve Cunningham fight as well. Gawacki is naturally a dirty fighter. So that argument that you just made there is flawed. He was even dirty in the Okolie fight. Like when he was on the clinch, he was trying to use his head. So he's naturally a dirty fighter.
Go ahead. I was about to say that he was dirty against Okolie. See, I put the emphasis on the referee because I feel like it's a cause and effect. You know what I'm saying? If he would have did his job that night, regardless of how much money they had on the line in the World Boxing Super Series, then he should have just did it because that was the right thing to do. Give that man 5 minutes like you'll give a low blow. And then, you know what I'm saying, he had a cause to take a point from Gawacki too. So he could have get that shit. He could have got everything together. Robert Byrd had a bad night, a real bad night. They could have got that man. That man
What?
could have lost
And
his
I'll tell
life.
you something. I'll tell you something funny. Before the fight, I'll send you the link. I sent it to Jeff before. Before the fight, he said to both fighters, I don't want to get this fight dirty. I don't want to get involved. So when I say stop, stop. So literally, he refused to get involved in the fight. So when he was there, he didn't want to get involved. And
Hey,
Kovacsky
Shane.
and Brady don't speak good English. So why would you get an American ref? I don't know.
Hey, Shane. You know the thing that's crazy? In terms of Unrivaled Boxing Talk, his comment, it's one of those things like, yes, who started it, but we all know in sports the guy that retaliates is the one that gets punished. It happens in basketball, it happens in football. Yeah, he did get punished. He did get punished, but the thing was, he didn't. Glowacki didn't get his 5 minutes.
That's true.
He didn't get his 5 minutes, and that's the point of it. He didn't get his 5 minutes.
My argument isn't even that fight, bro. That's what I'm saying to Unrivaled. I get your point, and I read your comment as well. I understand your comment about the two wrongs don't make a right. I understand that, but my argument isn't even that. My argument is very simple. Why would you wait 2 years before you order a fight? Remember, if Bradis was a champion and you want him to, and you stripped him of this belt, that's fine. Strip him because he didn't make the fight. Why do you wait another year before you make another fight? Why didn't Bradis fight Kovacsky last summer? Why didn't he make that fight last summer or last September? I don't get that. Or why don't he make Bradis fight Kovacsky last weekend? If Bradis was the champion, let him fight Kovacsky. That's what I'm saying. Okolie done everything in his power, and to me, he's still got. Again, as much as I like Okolie, he's a paper champion because he didn't beat the real champion. To me, Bradis was a real champion, and he lost his belt on a technicality. And to me, I just feel like that's unfair. Run the fight back. Run the fight back. That's all I would say.
Let me respond to that real quick. Usually when I label somebody a paper champion, it's a little different than the Okolie thing. Everything you said is correct, but it's like none of it is Okolie's fault. You know what I mean? Like none of it is Okolie's fault. I think the fact that he called out Bradis, the fact that he called him out, that's what I was like, for that reason alone, I was just like, I'm not gonna call him a paper champion. For that reason alone, I can be wrong for that. I don't even care. Come down to it, called the man out. He called the top guy at the division. He called him out, and I'm like, for that, I will call him a champion for that. Because we see L-Dub. Do we not see these champions calling out other champions? Like we don't see it. We don't see it.
They call out prospects and guys with social media following.
You know what? I find that. You know why I found it so fantastic was because he could have called out Makabu or that Glamerian guy who's WBA champion, but he called out the top dog. And I was like, you know what? For that alone, because I see so much guys, especially I remember when Warrington was walking around saying he's the #1 guy at the division, and he had Gary Russell there, and he was avoiding him like a church mouse. Like that's the type of things that I don't like. So when I saw him call out Bradis, I was like, you know what? Tip my hat off to you. And I like Okolie. Facts, I like Okolie. But my only thing was, and it's not his fault, as Jeff said, it wasn't his fault why that fight why he just takes what he gets in it. Whatever opportunities you get, you take, and done his job fantastically. But to me, I just felt like the WBO done a disservice to Bradis. Because even though Unrivaled Boxing says it's Corona, Bradis fought during that time. So I don't understand why you don't need to. And Bradis fought. Yeah. And why, instead of ordering Okolie versus Kovacsky, why don't you just order Bradis versus Kovacsky? You could have ordered that this year. Because Bradis ain't got no fight lined up. You could have ordered that this year. That fight has to be rematched. If you say that fight's unjust, give both champions a chance to win the fight, prove themselves. But it's the money, and it's the Eddie Hearn money that they saw, and obviously Eddie Hearn's money.
Let me put this out there. To put this question out there. Should Bradis stay at cruiserweight now since we got some more action at cruiserweight? Of course. Or should he go up to heavyweight?
No, he should stay, especially with Okolie. That's a big fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's a huge fight.
He wins that fight.
Man, you know I'm going with Okolie, bro. I'm going with Okolie.
That's his guy too.
That's my guy.
That's his guy.
I can break it down though.
Yeah, please.
Let me break it down. Break it down, Doug.
So I like Okolie's range. Like he like I said earlier, he rarely loses rounds. So I don't think that's gonna be an issue in this. I think it's gonna be the same thing. He know how to keep his range. He got a good jab, and the right hand is probably one of the best right hands in boxing. So we can debate that. But I think he's gonna be keeping his range, man, and it's up to Breeders to be more aggressive. And we know Okolie can stop all that stuff by holding and grabbing. So he know how to fight that way. You know what I'm saying? He know how to box and he know how to keep his range. He got decent footwork, getting much better. So I think he'll have a chance to probably win a decision and maybe stop.
Can I ask a question? Has he ever fought anybody who is as good at countering off a jab? That's what I want to know. I don't know.
He haven't faced nobody as good as Breeders, but I think he has the tactical stuff in his game that he can kind of slow down what Breeders bring to the table. Like I said, he know how to hold his way to victory. He know how to jab and, you know what I'm saying, use his range and get the victory. But the thing he gonna have problems with if he had to go those late championship rounds where Breeders is, you know what I'm saying, he's a veteran champion, you know what I'm saying, and he can be able to navigate through those rounds. And like you said, I like his counter punching, and Breeders is a tough guy. He can do a lot of good things in the ring. So I think Okolie can win this fight, bro.
I give it 60-40 Breeders, and that's really good for a prospect. For a prospect to be 40% chance against someone that renowned is good.
Yeah,
Jeff, do you remember what Breeders done in the Daughter Codes fight and the Usyk fight? Remember when he had the high guard up the whole fight, and he literally just let everybody land a jab. But as soon as you tried to extend with that, he just gave you that full set backhand again. Watch Breeders' knockouts. I guarantee you, in the sport of boxing, right now there's no better backhanded fighter than Breeders. I swear to God, there's no better backhanded fighter than Breeders. He knocks everybody he fights. The only punch I would say to Okolie is just watch out for the backhand, because he will give you the full sense of illusion that he's a certain range, and he'll just pull out just enough, or he'll catch it on his gloves just to follow through with that backhand right hand, and he'll do that the whole fight. And he did that against Usyk, who to me is a better technical fighter than Okolie. The only thing he doesn't have the range, and he's done it against Daughter Codes, who has the height and range on Breeders. So I've seen enough. So smart money will be Breeders. That's what I'm saying. Smart money.
Hey Shane, I'm gonna shock you right now.
Go ahead.
You ready? You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. This is a 50-50 fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you why though. The biggest thing that Okolie has going for himself in that fight is the fact that he's an expert at holding. and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you, listen, I'm gonna tell you why. There's a method behind my statement. So, of course,
I have to say a big shout out to Conrad Boxing, because Conrad Boxing, he's from Boxing Lowdown's channel. So thank you for following.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Conrad Boxing. Hey Conrad, go subscribe to LW Boxing too, man. He's one of the best in the business, man. Definitely go give him a
definitely one of the best. Definitely. I don't watch a lot of channels, but
we don't watch a lot of channels. But LW's like in my top like 5 or 6, like for sure. But and to get back to the topic, with Okolie, he's gonna keep his distance. He's gonna pop that jab, and LW is correct. He's very good at winning rounds. The reason I say this is a 50-50 fight is because a lot of guys let Breeders get off offensively. They let him get in the pocket and they let him get off. Okolie is not ashamed. He's not ashamed at all to clinch, hold, make it ugly. So by the time he gets finished jabbing, keeping his distance, occasional right hand, clinching and holding, he done won the round. Breeders is going to have, you know how much of a fan I am of Breeders.
Yeah.
Breeders is going to have to do major body work early in the fight, and he going to have to put something on Okolie early. And LW, I say this in a big fight, sometimes a guy has to get the other guy's attention within the first 4 rounds. He got to get the other guy's attention. Breeders is going to have to get Okolie's attention within the first 4 rounds, and he's going to have to speed in the pace. He's going to have to speed in the pace. Like some guys can't play high speed chess.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Why do you think? And I'm just asking if let me put it a different way. Jeff, if me and you are playing, let's say we're playing what sport can I relate it to? Let's say we're playing football. I don't know a lot about football. But let's say whenever we're playing football and we're doing a setup, I'm always passing it to the quarterback to do a run. And I never pass it to my running back. My plays are always quarterback throw.
Right.
And I physically avoid passing it to my running back. In my mind, as an opposition, I'm gonna think, why does this guy not pass to his running back? It's the same thing about Okolie. If I'm watching Okolie, this guy is. I've never seen a fighter be so scared. I have to say scared of fighting on the inside in my life. I have to ask the question: why is he so frightened of fighting on the inside? I haven't seen him fight on the inside in any fight, not even against
Let me get at that first because it looked like L Dub was about to pounce in. Let me get at that real quick. And see if L Dub and I agree. First of all, Okolie doesn't have an inside game. He doesn't even try to have an inside game. But that's the reason why he does what he does on the inside. He throws no more than one shot and he's clinching. He did it in the Ngabu fight. He's done it in other fights. He has a reputation for having a bad style. So usually when guys have a bad style or they're known for holding or not being effective on the inside is because they don't have no inside game. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is, but he's not ashamed of it. That's my point. He's not ashamed of it. He know he don't have no inside game. So he just clinches and holds until he gets back on the outside and he gets back on his stick. Like that's what it is. Like it's Shane, you're correct. Go ahead, Doug.
No, what I'm saying, I mean, my thinking is he know he can't fight on the inside, so he gonna stop you from fighting on the inside. Mm-hmm. So we gotta hug you and tire you out. I mean, that's a big kid. What was he? What y'all think he was fighting like? Maybe 220 plus, maybe something like that.
Definitely,
right. So if
he looked like Wilder. He looked like the same frame as Wilder.
So if he can hug and grab on you and be physical with you and not let you get your stuff off, then what you gonna do? I know Breeders is tough in the inside, and he's also kind of a dirty type of fighter. He can't get dirty. So that's gonna be a key to the fight too. Because if Okolie feel the power early, then he gonna start clinching, gonna start holding. The thing he can't do is be reaching out to hold him though, because he can find himself getting hit with an uppercut or something inside.
But that's why I say it could be a bit of a problem, because when you reach in, when you try to grab someone, and I'm glad you brought up that point, L-Dub, that's how I know you know about boxing. When you try to grab someone and hold, that's when someone's coming towards you. If you look at a lot of Bradis's movement, a lot of his movement is going backwards. So he's always waiting for you to punch, so you walk into something. The way he's gonna be able to clinch Bradis is if he's got to wait for the shot to come at him, then grab him, which is not like what he's done before. Normally he just gets on top of people and meets them in the middle, like two collisions. But Bradis is always going back. So when you're throwing something, he's going back with you. So he can throw something at the same time. So if I step back, counter, you got to wait for me to counter before you grab me. So let's say that counter lands, we don't know what happened. That's why I'm saying it's a bit difficult with someone like Bradis, because he's always moving in the opposite direction to where you're trying to go. And it's very difficult to clinch him. So Eldar brought up a good point.
Shane, let me play devil's advocate real quick. I had a convo with BoxingFirst Vlog. Big shout out to him. And we were talking about the Vergil Ortiz Maurice Hooker fight, right? And BoxingFirst Vlog was like, hey, listen, Maurice Hooker, when he got on the inside, he should have just clinched. He should have just held. This is what I told BoxingFirst Vlog. I said, listen, just because you want to clinch and just because you want to hold, if you're not physically strong enough to clinch and hold on a consistent basis, that shit's not going to work. So to play devil's advocate with this, hold on real quick, Shane. To play devil's advocate with this situation, Lawrence Okolie is strong enough to clinch. He's strong enough to hold Bradis. That's why I think it's someone's
arms tucked in. Where's the hold? That's what I'm saying. He has to wait for the arms to extend. That's what he normally does. If someone's arms tucked in, where's the hold?
Okolie is so talented in holding. Your elbows can be in, out, in front, in the back. Listen, it don't matter. Okolie is gonna find a way to hold like that. With any other fighter, bro, with any other fighter, I'm with you. Okolie might be the best holder in the sport. He might be the best clincher in the sport on the inside. Like, I've never seen somebody be so successful with no inside game. With no inside game.
Not even against like journeymen. Sorry to call them journeymen, but not even against journeymen. But read the comments, Jeff.
Yeah, I gotta get in the comments. Curtis Jones, big shout out to Curtis Jones. I haven't seen Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Subscribe to my bro L Dub Boxing. He one of the best doing it. Go follow us on social media as well. I get a lot of my info from L Dub. I don't follow Mike Coppinger and all that other shit. Like, I follow my own. I follow my own people. So go follow us for sure. He said he doesn't need to have an inside game.
That's what Jeff was saying.
That's what I was saying. He don't need an inside game.
He's
so strong. Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
He's so strong he can grip man up and they can't do anything. That's fact. That's
exactly what I was saying.
Well done, Chris Jones. Well done, Chris Jones.
Will? What's good with you, Will?
Will, what's up with you, baby? Hey, Will, man, you've been ducking the show, man. Like, you got to get back on. Hey, L Dub, last time we had Will on the show, I think Shane got into an argument with like two people, and Will left him hanging and shit, man. Like, he just went away from the screen for like 15 minutes. Shane was just getting barraged left and right, man. Like, Will came back like, what happened?
You know that reminds me of? You know when you go to war with someone and the guy's like, don't worry, I'm coming back. I just need to get something. And then the fight's over. And he's like, what happened? And he's got all of these tools.
Yeah, Will left him hanging like a bug, man. Like, well, we got nothing but love for you, Will. We give you another opportunity.
Curtis Jones again in the comments. He says, but he's not clinching anymore. He's spinning off to the side to avoid the shots. That's a lot because of the southpaw action. He was fighting a southpaw, so it's very easy to do that.
You know what? Against on Saturday, Okolie didn't have to deal with Glowacki on the inside because he tried to get dirty 2 times, and the referee was very stern with him.
Yeah,
he was very stern, and the referee did his job. You really didn't see no clinches Saturday. You didn't see any clinches Saturday, and that was because of the referee. And like L Dub said, referee is doing his job. Referee don't do their job, it's a problem.
Like, Okolie has improved massively. I agree with that part. He put on the clinic against the top 5 cruiserweight. Is Glowacki a top 5 cruiserweight? You have to give it to him most probably.
He's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5.
He's 5 because he's barely 5. Go ahead, Shane.
If you're right, then he will have a hard time at heavyweight against other big guys. That's true. That's very true. What does Okolie do when he's fighting heavyweights who are stronger than him and bigger than him? Like, let's say he was fighting a Chisora. Let's say he was fighting a Chisora and he was trying to clinch on the inside.
Okolie gets put to sleep at heavyweight. I don't even want to see him at heavyweight because imagine somebody with an AJ type uppercut and he try to get on the inside with that old and shit. His face gonna be wide open.
It's gonna be like Klitschko all over again. You know when Klitschko tried to
Klitschko tried to do that and got caught with that famous uppercut.
But that's a good point of what you're saying, bro. When you're saying about clinching and the clinching opportunity ain't there, that can write you off even more.
Yeah, exactly. But he can get away with that at cruiserweight, though. He can get away with that at cruiserweight. He's probably bigger outside of Dorticos. He's probably bigger than everybody else at cruiserweight in terms of just height, length, and actual weight on fight night. Because like L Dub said, he had to been at least about 2 1/4. Yeah, he had to been at least 2 1/4. But go ahead with the comments, Shane.
Hooker ain't got the strength to hold. That's what Jeff just said.
Hey, hold on, Curtis Jones, man. You taking all my points, brother. We either got the same brain, or I got to let you on the show. It's one of the two. I'm not gonna accuse you of stealing. We might just have the same boxing brain. But go ahead.
Well, it was the Wi-Fi.
It was a LW. It was his Wi-Fi. We just messing with him.
I fancy Okolie to knock out Bradis. Curtis Jones, that's a good bet, but I'll tell you something. Bradis has never been down in the amateurs, never been down in the professionals, never been down in the sparring.
I don't see Breeders getting knocked out.
There was a guy who's from Britain, I can't remember his name. He went sparring with Bradis before the Daughter Calls fight, and he said Bradis is by far the most. He's by far the biggest enigma in boxing, because Bradis will stand there right there with his hands up, and you think you're hitting him, but all you're doing is hitting gloves. And when he took his gloves down, Bradis looked like he just came out of a catwalk, because he doesn't get his face hit.
Hey Shane, this is gonna be the difference in the fight. Can Okolie actually commit to his game plan and actually still get steam on his shots? I can see him really throwing jabs and staying on the outside so much to the point to where he's not getting weight on his shots. I think that's going to be the key in the fight. Is he going to get something on those shots? Because I'm like, Bradis can get real disrespectful in there in terms of just walking through that front door. No admission fee, no nothing. Like, he's just going to walk in the front door. He's going to take what you're throwing, and then he's going to get his off. So it's very important for Okolie to kind of find that line, that balance between him being active with the jab, but also throwing it with some type of purpose as well.
But if you look at the Ngannou fight, though, and I have to say this, if you look at the Ngannou fight, Ngannou is so sorry to cut L-Dub. I'm gonna let you jump in a second. But if you look at the Ngannou fight, Ngannou is so much more athletic than Glowacki. So I'm reading the comments and I'm jumping the gun a bit. But what you got to understand is Glowacki's feet were so wide apart the whole time that he couldn't make up the space. It's very hard to cover a lot of ground when your feet are so wide apart. He didn't even actually try to walk him down. But if you watch the Ngannou fight, Ngannou actually was much better at closing the distance. If you look at it, like, he was much better, and he got on the inside much easier than Glowacki done. So when you're saying that he kept the game plan well by the jab, you got to anticipate that maybe Bradis's feet might be faster than Glowacki's. You have to anticipate that. And you can't just keep the arm out the whole fight, because I've never seen a fighter just win like that, though. Unless you're Tommy Hearn, like, to win off the jab the whole fight. I mean, he didn't do it against Ngannou, and Ngannou.
Before we let L-Dub jump in, I got to give a big shout out to my boy Evis Ngabu. He was on the show last week. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to Coach Padman McGriff. Big shout out to him as well. Ngabu's my best friend now, so you can't talk shit about him. That's my best friend now. All right, just letting you. I'm talking to you, Shane. I'm letting you know you can't talk about my best friend now.
Well, okay? As I said, Ngannou was able to close the distance, and I was actually saying the positive.
I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you. L-Dub, cook up, bro. Go ahead, cook up.
No, Glowacki, he won't. Not just his feet was so wide, but he was crouching down against a taller guy that he couldn't navigate no type of range. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in range in that fight until he got hit with that right hand. You know what I'm saying? And that was
That's a fact.
So he was on the business end of that. So the Breeders fight, though, it's so intriguing, because Breeders is very technical. He can bring a lot of stuff to the table, and he's dirty. And that's one fight that Okolie don't want to get caught in no exchanges with, because Breeders got decent hand speed and he can crack. So it's an intriguing matchup, man. I hope it happens, because I think that's really I'd say it's a passing of a guard, but it could be a new man in the cruiserweight division. So, and then be one last step for my man Breeze before he go to heavyweight. I know he's been talking about going to heavyweight, but just stay for one more fight, just for me.
Can I ask you a question? I'm gonna go to the comments in a second. If Bradis beats Okolie, how good is Usyk's win over Bradis?
Oh,
it's epic.
Yeah, that was a very close fight, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Bradis won that fight, bro. I'm not even going to front. We had to. You know what I wish? Hey, L-Dub, you know what I wish, YouTube would let us queue up a fight and we all could just sit here and just watch it on the fucking screen, yo. Like, that should be epic, yo. Like, they missing out they missing out on that, man. Because there's so many times I just want to actually show, like, have all of us watch a fight at the same time, like kind of had like a clubhouse type setup, but we're all watching the same screen, like the movie theater, but we virtual. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's educational.
Educate, exactly.
And then you'll see something you'll probably miss.
When I go to the States this year, we'll do that when we're in the States. What state are you in, Elder?
Say it again.
What state are you in?
I'm in California right now. You see the sunshine in the background. You know what I'm saying? We got the sunshine in the background.
Hey, it's a little gloomy over here where I'm at, man. I'm in Philly, but but Shane, I told Shane's supposed to be coming to the States. So I told him the 5 places he has to go to, even if it's basically from a boxing standpoint. I'm like, it's Vegas, Texas, Cali, New York, and I'm forgetting one. Those are at least 4.
You gotta go to Philly. Hey, you gotta go to Philly.
Philly's that hardcore. Philly that hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that hardcore. Philly's definitely in the top 6. But like, we got to get Shane over here. That's my goal, like, for all of us to hit a fight and actually work the fight from a media standpoint. Like, that shit.
Chris Jones. No, bro. Okolie sucks.
Yeah.
Okolie sucks down to cruiserweight. He's naturally a big guy who already spars a lot of heavyweights. Yeah, but I saw Will Stokes say it, so I'm gonna get to it in a second. But apparently, and this is the fact, I heard he got absolutely, when he sparred Dylan White, I heard he got absolutely battered. I heard that he got destroyed against Dylan White.
How long ago was that?
This was quite a while ago, because this was basically Dylan White. Okolie must have called out Dylan White, and he posted a picture saying he beat Dylan White up in sparring. But then Dylan White's brother Dean saw Okolie in real life and was like, "Bro, you know what happened in real life. You know how the sparring went, and you know that you didn't win the spar." This was in front of Okolie, face to face. Dean White went on some gangster stuff and spoke to him to his face that you know you didn't win that fight. And Okolie literally was quiet, like a little.
Shane, hold on real quick. Dean White, we need you to jump on the show. We need for you to jump on the show. We need to hear that story from you. Like, we need it. Sound good coming out of Shane's mouth, but we rather hear it from you.
It's on YouTube.
Damn if it's on YouTube. I want him to come on the show, Shane. I want him to come on the show, man. You see, I'm trying to throw him the alley-oop. You know what I'm saying? Cool. But yeah, we need for you to come on the show, and actually those are type of stories we like to hear, but we put like an educational spin to it. Like, we don't want to hear the story to dog somebody or to embarrass somebody. Like, we do everything from an educational standpoint. But I was just messing around with you, Shane. Go ahead.
Okolie will continue to improve, though. He won't go too heavyweight for at least a couple years, and by then he'll have picked up some more cruiserweight straps. He'll have way more experience by then. I don't think that's true. I'm not going to disagree with that. The next comment was, and yeah, like Curtis said, Okolie spars with heavyweights on a regular nowadays. So I think it's a strange bet to say he'll get slept. He's talking about now. We just addressed this rule. We just addressed the sparring clip, and the sparring clips were like 30 seconds. Those long arms are going to be so awkward for Bradis. So
put it up on the screen, bro. Put it up on the screen.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Those long arms are going to be awkward for Bradis, and it's hard to close the distance with the threat of that power. And as I said,
let me address that real quick. I don't think it's going to be an issue for Bradis in terms of the power. I don't think that's the issue, because Bradis has been in there with some. He done been in there with some punches. You know what I'm saying? Like, Okolie will not be like the hardest puncher he's ever been in the ring with, me personally. I think it's more of a style thing. It's more of a style issue. With Bradis having to close the distance, he has to think about a guy that doesn't want to fight on the inside. You got to remember this, Curtis Jones. You got to remember this. guys don't like to be held. Guys don't like to be held. They don't like to be clinched. They don't like to do none of that. And it's not only physically they don't like it, but you have to go through a process as a boxer to close the gap and get to your range to throw your shots. So when you go through the process of actually getting to your range and then a person clinches you and makes the referee break you up, man, you got to go through that whole process again. You understand what I'm saying? So it takes a certain level of patience.
I think people are, again, I feel like he's very good, but I still think people are overrating his ability. I feel like you are getting it right, Jeff, by saying his clinches on the inside, but people are saying those long arms will keep it awkward. People forget how easy it was for other fighters to get on the inside. It was easy for them to get on the inside. It was just once they got on the inside, they got clinched. So if you're making an argument that he's going to clinch on the inside, I can entertain that. But if you're making an argument that he's going to keep Bradis at the end of the arm the whole fight, I can't agree with that.
Go ahead, Dub. Go ahead, Dub.
That ain't going to happen. Bradis is too smart for that. But I think Okolie can have success at range at long stretches of the fight. You know what I'm saying? He just got to be patient. He got to be focused throughout the fight. And he can't get into no big exchanges with Bradis. There might be a wrap. But he can do some things. But Bradis is going to be able to touch him and he'll get inside and use his jab and counter punch effectively. He just got to get the range. You know what I'm saying? He got to figure out the range, go to the body. That's going to be able to slow him down. You know what I'm saying? Go to the body. He a big puncher, and I'm pretty sure that can take a lot of steam out of him. And if he is trying to hold, you know what I'm saying, he can just land some shots down low real quick. That's my dryer going off. But you know what I'm saying, land some shots down low, you know what I'm saying, put some water in the basement. And I'm pretty sure he can tire Okolie out. He never been deep in the fight against a world-class fighter. So, you know, 60-40 sound good to me though. I just rocking with Okolie. That's it.
Listen, I said 50-50, but because of this whole inside fighting thing, I got to go 52-48 Bradis. I got to go 52-48 Bradis because I'm like, if I had to bet it, I would say there's a better chance of Bradis actually getting to his range and actually throwing body shots versus Okolie actually establishing the jab and keeping him on the shot on.
He has to be disciplined the whole fight. And let me ask you a question. You think the ref is going to allow him to clinch every exchange? Because Bradis is going to get inside more than any other fighter's ever got inside.
Where's the fight going to take place? I'll answer that.
I was about to ask that, bro.
Where's the fight taking place? If it's in Bradis' hometown, it's a wrap.
It's most likely going to be in England.
Okay. Well,
okay. So
but you gotta remember, bro, if a fighter is clinching you every, let's say, I remember Okolie's already got that stigma attached to him. If a fighter is clinching you every, and someone said earlier that he's improved his in close range fighting. I'll tell you this: if he tries to fight on the inside against Bradis, he's definitely losing. If he clinches,
who said that? Who said
someone
that?
was saying. It's either Curtis Jones or Will. I think it was Will who was saying his inside game is improving and he doesn't clinch that much. Hold on.
Hey, Shane, I need a definite answer to that. I need for you to scan through the comments and actually find.
All right, cool. You guys read through the other comments and then I'll see.
I'll pull up the next comment. Curtis Jones said, "I think Okolie has improved massively."
I found it. Sorry,
who? Okay, hold on. Let me finish this and then I'll let you reveal it. I think Okolie has improved massively in regards to using his height and reach and making it difficult for guys to get to him. That's that Shane, him being with Shane McGuigan. That's what that is. That's what that is. Like, you can tell he's embedded that in his head. Like, use your range, operate off of that. Don't operate off of anything else. Go ahead, Dub.
Nah, I was just thinking like maybe we talking about the clinch too much and he might not even go out there and do that. It's good to have it in his bag just in case he want to slow down the momentum of Bradis and kind of keep his range and change the pace, you know what I'm saying, and turn him. So I don't want him to go out there and just be holding just because you feel the power and then you want to hold. No, he should box, use his range, get the jab going, keep it pumping, and make sure it's coming back crisp. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure it's coming back, you know what I'm saying? And then he can hook off the jab. So just have that the clinching in the tool bag just in case you need him to slow down the momentum.
Another thing I would say is keep changing the angle that you're standing. Don't stand side on the whole fight. Try stand square sometimes as well. The reason why I'm saying that is because if your arms out the whole fight, you've got to remember in the Gravatsky fight, he's jabbing straight, and because Gravatsky's head was there, it was easy for him to land the jab. If Bradis is there, Bradis can literally move off, as you guys were saying, to the right, which he didn't have to deal with in the Gravatsky fight because he wasn't moving off to the right. So the problem with that is Bradis actually might move his line. So you actually want to be adjustable to not just fight side on the whole fight. Because if you look at the way Wilder fights side on the whole fight, but when fighters move left to right, he struggles with that. And again, he doesn't have Wilder power to hit someone with one shot and knock them out. So he's got to bear that in mind as well.
Yeah, let me get this next comment out the way, and then we're gonna move on to Vergil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker because I really want to get into that. Will Stokes, I think Okolie should go for undisputed at cruiserweight before he goes to heavyweight. That'll earn him that big boy clout once he moves up like Usyk has. No, I agree with that. I'm all for undisputed and unification. Anything that's undisputed and unification, I'm down with it. The only thing is when a guy becomes unified, undisputed, that the sanctioning bodies is not on that bullshit and let them actually defend all of their straps. Like we get guys are undisputed, but they can never actually defend it because the IBF wants this, the WBO wants that, the WBA wants this, WBC, I'm first. No, IBF, I'm first. Like it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they don't give guys an opportunity to actually defend the undisputed strap. It's one thing to get it, but when is the last time when Teofimo makes his title defense, it's gonna be the first time an undisputed unified champion is going to
Usyk defended against Bellew that one time.
Oh yeah, and that's the last time that happened. And but the thing is though, L-Dub, that's a division that don't have no politics.
Right.
So when is the last time that's happened in a division that has politics? Go ahead.
You know why that happened, Jeff? Because Usyk was with Eddie Hearn, and every sanctioning body knew the biggest money fight and the biggest payout they were going to get was when Bellew fought Usyk.
Yeah, it was a perfect situation.
If they stripped Usyk of that belt, they probably would have got 30 grand. That fight ended up generating 500 pay-per-view buys. So why would I strip him?
It generated 500,000?
500,000 pay-per-view buys. So that's what? That's 10 million and 50,000 tickets sold. Why would I do that?
I guess we're not gonna move on because they still on this Okolie thing, and that's because L-Dub's on the show, man. I promise you, if L-Dub wasn't on the show, man, we might have got 2 or 3 comments, man, and we'd have been able to keep it moving. They know L-Dub is here. Okolie's his guy, so they want to talk about it. Shane, give it the next time. We got to get the people what they want. Go ahead, Shane.
Not sure if Usyk is a good example of making big money at heavyweight. Hearn may have different plans for Okolie. Okolie has to cherry pick when he reaches heavyweight. He can't fight every fighter.
Yeah, he got a lot of choices though.
Yeah, they bring all these champions over to the UK for Okolie. Yeah, of course. Okolie won't go abroad. Conrad Boxing. I'm not talking about clout in terms of money so much. I'm talking more about respect. Okay, fair enough. It's the conversation between Will and Conrad. Last one, like all the fighters want to fight you and actually respect you. I don't know what he's talking about, but yeah, forget that.
Yeah, let's keep it moving before the comments start flying in again because L-Dub in the building. Vergil Ortiz, Maurice Hooker. This is really what I want to get into. Vergil Ortiz gets a stoppage in the 7th round. Maurice Hooker goes down on one knee, something popped in his hand or something like that. But L-Dub, just to bring you up to speed, Shane and I had a whole discussion on whether Maurice Hooker was gonna run all night or was he gonna actually come in and throw some shots. And Maurice Hooker, he went for it. But L-Dub, kick it off, bro. What you think of that fight?
Man, that was a good fight, man. 2 hometown guys going at it. It kind of played out the way I thought it would, though, because the biggest criticism I have against Mo Hooker is his balance. This guy don't got no balance. You know what I'm saying? He seems to look like he can be a decent boxer, but his legs I don't know if he don't got no legs or something was going on, but he wasn't going to keep Vergil off of him the whole fight, and Vergil got the nice little high guard. He was coming in, and he had a good stiff jab too, and I think the body shot started to wear down Hooker, and it was a firefight, but I thought it kind of played out the way I thought it would, and I like how Vergil Ortiz, I like how he get through the rounds. You know what I'm saying? He's a power guy. Everything he throws is basically a lot of power. Maybe he can diversify that when he move up in competition, but definitely that was a good fight, man. Fun fight. It kind of ended in a sour note, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't expecting that, but I could see the knockout.
Vergil Hunter quick. I mean, not Vergil Hunter, Maurice Hooker quick. People say, what's the difference between? I mean, Laurie said this thing. What's the difference between what Maurice Hooker done and what Daniel Dubois done?
It's really
there is no difference.
It ain't no difference.
Really no different.
You know what I'm saying? No difference. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But he don't deserve no criticism because he came to fight. He came to fight. It's just my man, Vergil's just too strong, and those body shots was crazy. I think he hit him in the chest. The start of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff said this, and Jeff said this before the fight, and I didn't know what it was, but Jeff literally gave me the reason for why he does this, and I said Maurice Hooker is probably the worst long-range fighter in terms of keeping his distance because he gets hit always in between the shots. Like when I mean in between the shots, I use the example again. Shot, and then in between those shots, he gets caught all the time. And Jeff was like, that's because when you throw a jab, you're supposed to lean your head to the side. When you throw the right hand, lean your head to the side. This guy, the whole, when he's throwing straight right hands, his head straight through the middle. When he's throwing jabs, his head straight through the middle. So I'm literally piggying back off what Jeff said. And he did it in the what's it called fight. But the only thing is, I wasn't impressed with Vergil Hunter at all.
You keep on saying Vergil Hunter.
Vergil
trying to get him on the show, brother?
Hopefully. I wasn't impressed with Vergil Ortiz at all. I thought Vergil Ortiz was so one-dimensional to me, and he was so easy to hit. I found it horrendous. Because at some stage, I was like, you got to start making some adjustments. I'm looking at him like he's going to fight a better fighter. So if you're fighting a better fighter, you can't just keep walking through the front door and expect to just get through every time. And I felt like Maurice Hooker kept distance much better in this fight than he done in the Ramirez fight. And this is something Jeff says all the time. You got to throw punches when you're not in range. And Vergil Ortiz wasn't doing that.
Can I go off for a little bit? Because I got to address like 3 different things with this situation.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here's my thing with Maurice Hooker. I'm like, he's an average at best fighter for a reason. There's a difference between an average fighter and a really good fighter. A really good fighter can stick to the game plan for long periods of time. Average fighters, they can do it for small spurts. And when they're not doing it, they get themselves in trouble. This fight went exactly the way I thought it was going to go because I knew Maurice Hooker wasn't going to be able to stick to no game plan long term. Secondly, with Maurice Hooker, like when I say he keeps his head on the line all the time, like if Maurice Hooker, like if there was like a 3-lane highway, he would be in the middle lane all the time. Like he's not in the speed lane, he's not in the right lane, he's not merging off the exit, none of that shit. His head is in the middle lane. That's just what it is with Maurice Hooker. So he gets hit with those bang bang shots all the time. You rarely see Maurice Hooker actually land shots and then he avoids what's coming back. He always catches what's coming back. And that's the problem with Maurice Hooker. Now, my third thing, and I got one more after that, with Vergil Ortiz, Shane, what you said is correct, but here's the thing. That's what's going to happen with a guy that's won every single fight and won every single fight by knockout. It's hard to tell a guy to change his stripes when his stripes done worked every single time and it ended up the same way, same fashion. So I wasn't surprised that Vergil Ortiz did that. What I was impressed with Vergil Ortiz is that he's so young and he did not get discouraged. He actually went to the body. And that's something that a lot of young guys, even though the Mexican fighters, like they, you know, like they're known for their body work, but it's what are you going to do in a big fight? What are you going to do when the lights is bright? What are you going to do when the pressure's on? Are you going to stick to what you do, or you just going to go head hunting? He didn't go head hunting. He threw a lot of chest shots, a lot of hooks to the body. I love the stab jab. Love the stab jab to the body. That's the reason why Maurice Hooker was losing his win, because those stab jabs. He was throwing those power stab jabs, and it was really working. And the last thing I want to say on this is for my bro, Boxing First Vlog. I was on live with him after the fight, and he was basically, how did you score it after the first 4 rounds?
I had it 3 rounds to 1 for Vergil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shane, I know you said you didn't score it, right?
But I remember, I definitely remember, like, Vergil won. To me, he won 2 rounds clearly, and I think it was round 2 and round 3 that were a bit nip and tuck. But I think he won 2 rounds clearly.
Yeah, I think I gave Hooker 2 and 4, and I gave Vergil 1 and 3, and I had the 4th round was kind of nip and tuck until about the final minute of the round, and I think Maurice Hooker kind of closed it out real strong, so I gave him the 4th round. I had it 2-2. Boxing First Vlog had it 4-0.
For who?
Hooker. He had a 4-0 for Hooker. And we got into this whole like back and forth. So for the people that's listening, let me explain the history between Boxing First Vlog and myself. So that's the bro, that's the family. But we don't see eye to eye at all when it comes down to a lot of different things when it comes down to boxing. We'll end up seeing eye to eye after we have a talk.
What you gonna do is stop this moment and then just replay L-Dub's reaction. It was so funny.
I'm gonna break this down into 1-minute clips, and that's definitely gonna be a 1-minute clip. But yeah, like it's crazy because he said he had now when I watched the fight live, Dub, I didn't score it. So when he said it to me, I didn't, I wasn't thinking no type of way about it. I was just like, oh, all right, cool. I said, I got to go watch it again and actually score it. Because when you watching a fight live and you're not intending to score it, and it's a good fight, you're not scoring it. Like, you're just caught up in the action.
So much comments.
Well, they can wait. Get them. Let me cook real quick. But the thing that's crazy about it is I'm like, I went and asked some people that I respect. I said, I'm in a couple chat groups and all that. I said, how'd y'all have it scored after 4 rounds? So I heard anything from 3-1 Vergil to 2-2 even. And I'm like, why does he have it 4-0 for Hooker? And I'm like, and I'm sitting up there thinking, and like me and him had a heated about 5-minute conversation.
How did he go round 1 for Maurice Hooker? I thought Vergil Ortiz won that round so clearly.
Listen. I literally, we got into a heated discussion for about a good 5 minutes on the phone. He said, I'm going live. You jumping in. I'm like, yeah, I'll jump in. But I'm like, you lucky I didn't score this fight initially. So I couldn't get at him about that. And he's working right now, but I'm going to have to get him on at some point, and he's going to have to explain that 4-0 for Maurice Hooker. I'm not going to let Boxing First Vlog off the hook with that at all. And that's my brother. So brothers fight. So it is what it is. Go ahead, get to the comments, Shane.
I'm gonna run through these. So we just sick of speaking about Spence and Crawford. Curtis Jones said that. Yeah, I'm so sick of it. I'm not even gonna address that when you go. I'm talking about when you become undisputed in another weight class. I think that's a conversation from before. Mm-hmm. Ortiz versus Avanesian. I think Ortiz wins that fight too comfortably. Just because he beat Kelly, I still think he wins that fight comfortably. Fair point. At Will Stokes probably depends on how much the UK public gets behind him. I think they're still talking about Okolie and Bradis. Avenesian would be a great fight, definitely. And I think that's it.
King Louis in the building. That's my bro right there, man. Big shout out to King Louis, man. Dub, Avenesian and Ortiz. What you think about that, good brother?
That'd be a decent fight. You know what I'm saying? Avenesian gonna come to fight. You know what I'm saying? But I think Vergil probably stop him. I like to see Vergil against Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I didn't mention.
And you know what? I actually think, and you probably say, I actually think Ray Robinson could beat Vergil Ortiz. And I say this for one reason.
Ray Robinson, bro. It depends on where Ray Robinson's
feet are so much faster than Ortiz's feet. Ray Robinson's feet is quick. Ortiz's feet is slow to me. I don't think I know any Mexican fighter right now in boxing other than maybe Valdez that's got quick feet. Even Canelo, Ruiz, Ryan Garcia. Who's the other guy we were talking about? The other Mexican kid we were talking about the other day. All of these guys got slow feet to me. There's another Mexican guy we were talking. I don't even remember. But yeah, all of these guys got slow feet to me.
Hold on. I gotta throw L Dub a trap question. Get the King Louis John off real quick. I gotta throw L Dub a trap question. I gotta see if me and him on the same page. So Ray Robinson, I wasn't thinking of Ray Robinson. That's a great fight. I had two other names in mind. Can you give me two other names that would be a good fight for Vergil Ortiz? I want to see if you say one of the names I'm thinking.
I'm thinking one as well. I know for a fact.
I'm thinking Daniel Elalusinov would be a good one for me.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And Rashidi Ellis.
That's a good one too. Okay.
Who you got?
You gave me two I didn't think of, but they're good ones. Shane, go ahead.
One of them is Uginas Ugas. I think the range, the height, the distance, the space, that will cause Ortiz a lot of problems. I think that range, you can't just come in with a high guard. That's gonna be a good fight. And to me, another fight is, what's that kid's name? I didn't even think of my second one. Let me think of a second one. I can think of one real quick. I would actually want to see him versus Mean Machine.
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight.
You know what? Y'all both brought up names that I wasn't thinking, but they're all good choices. The two names that I had in mind, one's kind of a long shot, but I think it's possible. Josecito Lopez. I think that's a good fight for Vergil Ortiz. But I think the best fight to kind of gauge where he's at is Jesse Vargas at 147. I think that'd be a great fight for Vergil Ortiz.
The only thing is, I want to see him fight someone who's going to deploy a bit more distance and space, because I think Ortiz's problem is going to come with actually closing the distance and getting in range. Jesse Vargas is too simple at that. You know, I would want to see him someone a bit bigger. That's why I said the two fighters that I said. Someone who's better, he's got a better jab and got a bit more distance.
Yeah,
but go ahead, Dub. Go ahead.
I named those three guys the two southpaws because Ray Robinson is a kind of style of Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Something you can get used to. Eagles fought him to get ready for Bud, and then
I thought Eagles lost that fight too.
Yeah, Elalusinov is a aggressive southpaw, so kind of like not.
Who lost the fight? You thought who lost the fight? What?
You talking about Eagles versus Ray Robinson?
Mm-hmm.
But Elalusinov is a aggressive southpaw, and he's a gold medalist, so that's a fight I picked. But Rashi Ellis he's a slick, fast hand fighter that you're gonna have to deal with that. That's kind of a Sean Porter type of mode. So I was thinking about guys that would prepare him for the top guys. So that was my reasons for picking those three.
So that's a total of you gave 3, Dub. Shane, you gave 2. I gave 2. That's 7 fights that he could take.
You know, another fighter who would be good as well. And I know I'm just picking tall guys, but I just want to pick tall guys just for a reason. Even Jamal James.
That's a good scrap. That's a good scrap.
Because Jamal James is taller, and he just got a bit more distance and range. That's what I'm saying.
You know the thing about all those names, yo. I know we talk about politics a lot, but those fights can actually happen. Like those fights can actually happen. Like I can see Al signing off on a couple of them couple of them joints because it'll be their biggest paydays. And with Al Heyman, I say it all the time. I'm like, it got to make business sense in terms of control for him, and then it has to make money sense. If those two things click, he'll have somebody fight across the street. So it's a lot of action for Vergil Ortiz to take and not rush into a Crawford fight. But the thing is, the Crawford Vergil Ortiz thing is good to talk about. But Oscar De La Hoya is not stupid. Oscar's not stupid. Like, he's not stupid because he knows you throw a kid in against one of the best pound for pound guys in the sport, the rest of their career could be tarnished if it don't end well. And he's actually destroyed a couple of 22-year-olds in his heyday when he was, you know, the best in the business. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to put Vergil Ortiz in with anybody that's like a killer. Like, it's going to be more of the names that we mentioned, but those are the names that he needs at the end of the day. And it's really about, do you want to get a big payday for Vergil Ortiz right now, or do you want to really develop him and really turn him into a star? Because I'm like, I don't think Bud's going to be at 147 for too much longer. I don't think Spence is going to be at 147 for too much longer. So 147 could be wide open if those two move up within the next 12 to 18 months.
And you know something? I don't think Vergil's going to be at 147 too much longer. How many times he came close to missing 147 and had to go back to the scale a second time? So I don't know if they mismanaging the weight issue or the weight cut at the last minute. I don't know, because that's 3 times in a row.
Hey, Dub, yo, anybody that likes to talk about tacos as much as he does during press conferences, yo, I have a slight problem with that, man. Like, he always be like, yo, I can't wait to get to the tacos. Like, he had the home, like, yo, this dude belched in the ring against who was that?
That's Sammy Vargas, wasn't it?
That was Sammy Vargas. Yeah, he letting out taco
I don't
aromas and
remember
shit.
that.
Yeah, man. He belched in it. He belched in the ring, and I think Sammy Vargas said something like that was that chicken. Stay off that chicken, boy. Yeah. He's like, stay off that chicken, boy. And he started laughing. Yo, he loves his tacos. And I'm not even making fun. Like, I am making fun, but it's because he says it all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. We got comments, bro. We got comments.
Ortiz finna be fighting Riverside Rocky next love.
Oh, you skipped one. You skipped two. You skipped 2 of them. Go to Conrad Boxing. Yeah, there you go.
Conrad Boxing 4-0. He could make career as an official boxing judge. Look, that's funny. And then, you know, Yulisanov been like an enigma since he's turned professional as well. Like, he had a very good amateur career, but he's not
really. That's a good name, though. That's a good name. They want to go kind of low key, but keep him busy. That's a good name. That's a good. I like that.
Jamal James, Jesse Vargas, Josecito Lopez, Velasquez. Those are all good names for Ortiz. Chris G's in the building. What's up, Chris G?
Chris G, what's going on, good brother? Hold on. I gotta call out Chris G. Hold on. I have to quote him correctly because he sent me something. Oh, you know what, L Dub, and I'm gonna let L Dub get it. Take that message off real quick, Shane. Chris G, I know you're listening. That's my boxing son right there. I didn't taught him a lot. But he actually said that we had a back and forth about Vergil Ortiz and Yordenis Ugas. I think he said that's a 60-40 fight for Ortiz. I thought he was crazy. I said that's more of a 50-50 than a 60-40.
Yeah,
what you think of?
That's like 50-50 to me. And I'm going based off Ugas' last performance against Abel Ramos.
Yes.
I mean, he got buzzed in the early part of that fight. In the last 20 seconds of that fight, he got hurt. If Abel Ramos was able to be a little bit more aggressive and let his hands go, we might have some issues. He might be the WBA super champion right now. So I think Vergil can do a little bit more to Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Can put a little bit more pressure on Ugas. And Ugas. I will say this: Ugas do have a good jab, and he showed that in the Abel Ramos fight. I thought that was the key to the fight. but his counters is kind of awkward to me. The way he throw his counter punches and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he kind of leave himself wide open. So I think Vergil can.
That's what happened in the Porter fight as well. In the Porter fight as well.
Yeah, and you know what? When people break down Ugas, they like to say that he has a good punch variety. That's actually not true. He doesn't have a good punch variety. What he does, he fools people. When he throws those 5, 6, 7 shots, that like those come from all angles. But L-Dub, like you said, those counter shots that he be throwing and his traditional combination punching, like there's not a lot of punch variety. His shots are coming from the same angles. He don't give a lot of variety when it comes down to the punches. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're on point with that. And he really don't use his legs like most Cuban fighters. I mean, I'm pretty sure he got that in his tool bag, but I haven't seen him do that.
That's how Ramos caught him.
Yeah,
that's how Ramos caught him.
So, and I'm thinking about the Spence fight. I think that's gonna be a bad. He gonna have problems in that fight.
That's a bad matchup.
And
that's a bad matchup.
Same thing with Vergil, because Vergil is aggressive and he gonna come forward. He got a nice jab. And what Ugas gonna do if he get caught in the exchange is throwing those wide looping shots? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's a close fight, bro. That's a
close. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So Chris G says 55-45 for Ortiz. I want to say that's not true. I don't know if he said that, but he definitely said Ortiz was winning the fight. But that's more of a it's a close fight, because I'm like, a lot of Ugas deficiencies, he's gonna be able to get away with that against Ortiz, because he's not the type of guy to make you pay. Like, he's for mistakes. He's just gonna get his off, and he knows it. He, in his heart, he feels like his offense is better than yours. Mm-hmm. Like, his offense is better than yours. His power is better than yours. So that's what he's gonna do inside of the ring. So that's a really good fight. If I had to choose, I know they're gonna throw Ugas to Spence, but I wish they gave Ortiz the opportunity. I wish they gave Ortiz the opportunity, because I don't want to see Vergil Ortiz against Bud. That's gonna get ugly. Like, that's gonna get ugly real quick, and he's gonna have Vergil Ortiz. I can see that fight playing out now. Like, Vergil Ortiz is gonna have this false sense of security that he's doing good offensively, not knowing that Terrence Crawford is just collecting data. Mm-hmm. And once he collects that data, and once he it's really, for Terrence Crawford, it's really like, which way am I gonna knock this dude out? Is it gonna be orthodox? It's gonna be southpaw.
I find the worst about Vergil Ortiz, and this is probably the worst thing. He knocks a lot of guys out down to pain. He doesn't knock them out like how Bud knocks people out. When you have power, when you knock a guy out like through pain, that just means that they might have seen the punch coming, but their pain barrier has been broken. The reason why I don't like that, and this is something you probably will never hear anywhere else, but the reason why I don't like that about a fighter is because they always say the punches that you don't see are the ones that hurt the most. With Vergil Ortiz, most of the power punches you actually see coming. It's just because they hit hard, a lot of the fighters he's fought, they don't have the ability to brace themselves for the shot. And because they don't have the ability to brace themselves for the shot, they end up going down out of pain. They don't get stung, or they don't get caught off guard. They go down out of pain. And I feel like when you're fighting someone like Crawford sees all them shots coming. So it's kind of easy.
Let me add on to that, Shane. Let me add on to that real quick. Until Vergil Ortiz was consistently landing the body shots, Maurice Hooker was actually eating a lot of those shots. Uh-huh. He was actually eating a lot of those shots. So I like, when you step up in competition, guys are not just gonna lay down. And it took for him to really land significant body.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean about that's the same thing I mean. When I mean guys are like, no fighter just lays down, but some fighters are sitting down on the ground thinking, you know what, this is too painful for me to continue. When you're at the elite level, that doesn't happen anymore. I'm gonna go to Will Stokes' comment. I'm so glad you brought that comment up. Then you must not rate Beterbiev's power. I'm glad you brought that comment up, because Beterbiev is the only one in the sport, and Jeff said this. When you get hit by Beterbiev, your plans change. You go from trying to win to trying to survive. Vergil Ortiz doesn't have that power. I'm telling you that now. Vergil Ortiz doesn't have that power. Everything Beterbiev hits you with 100% power. Vergil Ortiz doesn't have that power. And if he had that power, then I'll say, you know what, maybe. But when he was hitting Maurice Hooker, and Maurice Hooker is not known for having a granite chin, Maurice Hooker gained confidence. I don't know if you guys saw that, because after the first round, he was getting pinned. But Maurice Hooker gained confidence. So
yeah, and Beterbiev, hold on, let me go back to that. Let me go back to that. He said that you must not like Beterbiev's power. Well, I've seen Beterbiev ice dudes. Like, I've seen him flat out just ice dudes. That's number one. And with Beterbiev, he got that type of power. Like you just change your itinerary. Like whatever you had planned, like you just changing your itinerary. Like that, he got that.
He done that with elite fighters. He's
done that with elite fight. And Will, let me add this on, bro. Like if you need proof, Beterbiev versus Vozdik, I was there. Like that fight, Vozdik is a very good fighter. Very good fighter. He was actually the betting favorite in the fight, slightly. And I had a whole conversation with Jesse Hart. It's on the channel. I had a whole convo with Jesse Hart. We was at the weigh-in. And he was like, he liked Vozdik in the fight because Vozdik, you know, he was a better boxer. I told Jesse Hart this. I said, bro, I'm like, Beterbiev got that type power, man. I'm like, can you take his shots for 12 rounds? I'm like, it don't matter what kind of boxing Vozdik can do. I'm like, at the end of the day, eventually Beterbiev is going to wear you down with them shots and he going to get him up out of there. And that's exactly what happened. That's the type of power that man has. Like he has like Kovalev in his prime type power, like times like 1.5. Because you know Kovalev was cracking something crazy.
The reason why I say it's crazy with Beterbiev is this guy's generating power from, like, look at the Callum Johnson knockout. Like, Callum Johnson is literally 5 inches away from him, and he just goes like that. And Callum Johnson is out cold. And Callum Johnson's got a great chin, and he just hits him just like this, and the guy's out cold. Bro, yes. That type of power, it changes your mentality. And if you don't believe he's got power, he knocked out Mike Wantner in the first round in the amateurs. He knocked out Mike Wantner in the first round. I think it was the first round. He knocked out Vozdik twice, and he knocked out who else did he knock out in amateurs? And he knocked out Usyk in the amateurs. That's a fact.
Dub, I got into a whole argument with somebody. I said Beterbiev is the most powerful puncher in the sport. They told me, nah, it's Wilder. I said, listen, I respect your opinion, but I respectfully disagree. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm like, Wilder has an all-time right hand. I mean, straight power, all-time top 5 right hand. Like, it's like no denying that. But when I say Beterbiev is the most powerful puncher in the sport, he can hit you from short distance and you can be out cold. He can be long range, out cold. He's probably one of the few guys in the sport that can legit knock you down with a jab. Yep. Like, and he generates his power from so many different ways. Even the Callum Johnson shot, that's upper body. Like, that was an upper body shot. And he knocked him smooth out with it. But then you take the Vozdik punishment he was dishing out. A lot of that power was coming from his legs because he had to track him down. So he was cutting off the ring, and he had to set his feet. He had to actually sit down, and that power was generating from his legs. He got the legs of like a heavyweight.
That happened even in the Kolodzik fight, and Kolodzik was the one who dropped Marcus Brown. For those who don't know, Kolodzik dropped Marcus Brown in the third. I think it was the 3rd round or something like that. In the Kolodzik fight, he had to walk Kolodzik down. And after a while, he just started to Sean Porter his way into things where he just literally started charging. And he was just knocking guys out at long range. Bro, Beterbiev's power is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I think he's the most powerful puncher in the sport. If I can't even think, Dub, is there anybody else in the sport that has more power than him? In your opinion?
I like anyways power. Like pound for pound. Because I like the way he places his shots. Like his power is a lot to do with punch placement. The way he places body shots and hooks, and that straight right hand that he knocked out Maloney with the last fight. So he probably, you can probably put him in that category. But I like Bert. Yeah, I agree with Beterbiev because that dude punching hard at any range, and he got thudding power. You don't want to get hit by him regardless, on the arms or shoulders or anything like that. That can wear you down.
A Dub, you could hear the shots. Like against Vosdick, like you could hear the shots. Like it was like you know how like you watch a fight now and it's in the bubble and you can hear the shots because there's nobody in the crowd. Like you could hear his shots and it was a packed house.
Damn.
Like that's how hard the shots was, man.
And the thing is, these are face shots. Like, can you just imagine getting hit in your face,
bro? Like these were the chest shots. Like the shots he was landing to the chest and the shoulders. All you heard was boom, boom, boom. I'm like, God damn! Like it. I'm like. He got that type power, like he lands anything.
You stood next to him. Did he seem like a freakishly? You stood next to him. Did he seem like he was freakishly muscly or something?
Bro, Dub. I got a picture with Beterbiev, and he's like just solid. Like he's solid. Like I stood next to him, took a picture with him. What was it about? Maybe about 2-3 days before the weigh-in. So he had to have been no more than probably like 180, something like that. And he looked, and I was probably about 225, 230. And he's just so like stocky, like compact. Like you would think he's like 220, 230, like him just standing there. Like he's just, and he had a jacket on the whole nine. Like it was just like, he's a different type of individual. Like he just, different type of individual, man. Like,
Bruce Stokes says that's the kind of power Beterbiev has, the pain kind of power, rather than that explosive power. Wow, that's true. I'm not saying he hits as hard as Beterbiev. I'm saying they have the same kind of power. Okay, I get you. Ortiz punches sound like a gun. That's what Conrad Boxing says.
To my Vergil?
Yeah.
To my Vergil Ortiz.
He get a lot
of weight on his shots too. He get a lot of weight on his shots.
I'm not saying he doesn't have power. I'm just saying it's more that pain. You know, I get you. But yeah, when it comes to that, like, this is while we're about to like wrap it up. Joe Smith versus Beterbiev.
Oh man, yo, I can't wait for April the 10th. To see Joe Smith get this world title, and then let's get this 3-belt unification. That's a fight right there that can threaten Beterbiev because Joe Smith is strong and have a good chin. If he can be able to push Beterbiev back and be able to bang with him, because Beterbiev he is vulnerable in spots, but then that's a dangerous game. Like we're talking about, this guy can punch. You don't want to get hit with anything.
He's got power, bro. He has power as well. Like Joe Smith has his own power as well. That's what makes this fight so interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'd be surprised if it go to 12 rounds. Like these guys.
Hell no.
It ain't gonna make. I don't even think it's gonna go past 6. I'm just being 100.
Yeah, Dub, I gotta agree with that, man. Like Joe Smith has improved so much from a technical standpoint. And this just goes to show how good Dimitri Bivol is, man. You 12-0 Joe Smith. Like, you 12-0'd him. Like, that's crazy. But the key to that fight is actually, can Beterbiev take Joe Smith action? Can he take Joe Smith shot? That's going to be the key to the fight, because you know what Beterbiev bringing to the table. Yeah. Can he take Joe Smith's action? And I'm not talking about just the power shot. This is what I'm talking about. A guy that's actually going to walk forward, like he going to meet you right at that line you drew. He going to meet you right there. And you got to answer. You got to answer. Like, Beterbiev hasn't been put in a position out against who's that? Callum Johnson that knocked him down. But that was a shot that he got caught with because Beterbiev was having so much success.
Yeah.
He just left himself open and got caught with the shot.
In that Callum Johnson fight, I just feel people don't understand. Callum Johnson
is a good fighter.
Crack.
He's
on a single, Callum Johnson can crack. I don't know if people know this yet, but Callum Johnson knocked Frank Buglioni out in the first round. Callum Johnson can crack. And the thing is, Beterbiev threw the shot because he thought he gave Callum Johnson everything in that first round. Watch Callum Johnson's how he looked after that fight. He literally looked like he'd been run over by a truck. His face looked battered. Face looked battered. So Beterbiev, and I guess this is a bad thing, but he thought that this guy was done. So he was trading with his chin in the sky and got caught with a guy that can crack. We know like these guys from England, if they have anything, they have heart.
You know what it reminded me of, yo? When Beterbiev got knocked down with that shot, it reminded me of when F.A. Ajagba got knocked down. He was having so much success.
Hey, I was at that fight, the Charlo card. That was the card, yo. That's the card where Carlos Balderas got stopped in the first round. Yeah. That was the biggest pop of the night when F.A. got dropped. Because he had my man skating and shit. You know what I'm saying?
He had so much. F.A. was having so much success. He was throwing what he wanted. And dude he did a pull counter. I said, where the fuck did that come from? I mean, yo, Dub, you was there. He ain't do that shit all night. He didn't do that shit all night. It was almost like, you know what? I'm getting my ass whipped. I might as well try this pull counter. And he caught him flush.
Man, that was a hell of a night.
I mean, this is the thing that I have with the Joe Smith fight. And this is probably the biggest problem I have, is the fact that both guys are so defensively so vulnerable. They're so defensively vulnerable. They're so easy to hit. It's like, if this goes 12 rounds, I'm willing to put any money that this don't go 12 rounds. I'll put
Shane, listen, if that fight, let's say that fight goes down, let's say May, June, July, August, maybe September. Let's say it goes down in September, right? And that fight goes to full 12 rounds. I don't want to see neither one of them in the ring until 2023.
Right.
Right. Like real shit, because I'm like, they physically are not going to be right for a very long time. Like they going to have this like ice baths and jacuzzis and massages like every day until 2023, man. Like if
Beterbiev knocks out Joe Smith, I'll tell you this now, if Beterbiev knocks out Joe Smith, he has all-time power, all-time great power. Joe Smith,
but see, I think he got all-time power now. I think he got all-time power right now. That'll just solidify what I'm already thinking.
That'd be a great man. I'm praying, yo. Come on, boxing guys, y'all been good to me so far. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's a bomb fight because both guys. It's like a war of attrition. Like who gonna wilt first? If these guys go 12 rounds or even past 6, it gotta be some type of candidate for fight of the year. You know they're gonna go back and forth. Now I can say
crazy.
I can break it down to tell you what the keys to victory for Joe Smith and vice versa.
Break it down.
That shit out the window. Because once the guys get hit one time, they're gonna stand and trade, and it's gonna be up to Joe Smith if he can use his range a little bit, his jab and stuff like that. But he loved to fight, and Beterbiev, once he get going, it's a wrap. So I can't. It ain't no use to breaking it down because we know how it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to see it.
Yo, and the thing is, like with Joe Smith, hold on, big shout out to my bro Stay Ready Boxing in the building, man. That's my guy right there.
Stay ready. What's good, bro?
Stay ready.
Conrad Boxing said, "Oh, what's up?" And Stay Ready just messaged me, bro. I'm gonna respond to your message in a second. Is the Beterbiev Smith fight actually in the making? So Smith's got a fight next month, but obviously with them both being signed to Top Rank, it's probably the next fight.
Get the Stay Ready comment.
Beterbiev gonna win, but I'm a root for Joe Smith.
I'm rooting for Joe Smith too, man. Like I'm rooting for Joe Smith.
If Joe Smith comes on the channel, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna send it to Joe Smith after.
Hold on, Stay Ready, man. And it's taking a lot for me to say that, man, because I'm from Philly, and he did my guy Jesse Hart like that, man. But Joe Smith, he has the mentality of a Philly dude. Like just hard work, put the hard hat on. He coming to work. And I support that just in terms of just I like my boxers like that. Like he brings the lunch pail and he's working, but you can tell he's always working to improve. So I'm definitely rooting for Joe Smith. I
You know
think
why I'm
Beterbiev is
rooting
gonna
for
win
Joe
too,
Smith the
but
most? And I'm not even saying this for him to win or anything. But you know why I'm rooting for Joe Smith a lot is because not even because he follows me on Instagram neither, but
yo, I'm
Joe
glad you
Smith,
said that because I was gonna call your ass out if you didn't. Go ahead.
no, but Joe Smith, if he beats Beterbiev or does good against Beterbiev, people finally start giving Bivol some credit because people don't understand how good it is to 12-0 Joe Smith. Like to 12-0 Joe Smith, you gotta be a supreme fighter.
Bro,
And I feel like people don't know how good he is.
He 12-0 Joe Smith and he 12-0 John Pascal. Like
And
if
he
you need
12-0 Sullivan Barrera and knocked him
and
out.
Sullivan Barrett, like I'm like, yo, I don't understand how people are not sold on Bivol. I'm like, yo,
resume. Don't you got the best resume at 175? He beat Valero.
You can make the argument. You can make the argument. But people don't even talk about his resume because they so disrespectful. Like it's just like with Bivol, Shane, what was that offensive punch stat thing that you showed me a long time ago?
Let me ask you a question. This is a fact. This is punch stat. Joe Smith fought Bivol, and I'm gonna ask L Dub because he knows about boxing. L Dub, Joe Smith fought Bivol, and Joe Smith fought through 338 punches between round 1 and round 8. How much punches did he land?
Joe Smith, I would say
He threw 300 punches.
He did. How many he threw?
He threw 300 punches.
I would say he landed under 70 against Bivol.
He landed 19 punches. 19. What? 19 punches. 19 punches. I got another stat for you. Bivol, okay. Bivol's naturally a back foot fighter, a long range fighter. How much time on average does his back touch the ropes per fight? Back touch, not stay. Does his back touch the ropes in a 12-round fight?
I've never seen him on the ropes. I seen him circling out, boxing, counter punching. I never seen him on the ropes.
In a 12-round fight, he averages 1 time per round. Does his back touch the ropes? 1 time per round. Now, for a normal back foot fighter, like let's say Tyson Fury or something, they average 4 to 5 per round, and Bivol's 1 per round.
Bivol's
per fight. Average per fight, Bivol lands 80% of his power punches. 80% per fight.
Like Bivol's something different, man. Like Bivol is something different, and the thing is, like everything he does, he's a wizard defensively, and he never gets out of range. Like he's always in a position to make you pay, and that's the amazing part about Bivol. But yeah, you can make the argument he has the best resume, definitely the most slept on resume at 175. The only knock I have against Bivol is that he don't fight enough.
I know.
Like that shit annoys me.
That's we know why that happened, and I say this all the time. The guys who signed to the zone in America, they've struggled to get the big fights. You know, Andrade, Bivol, even Kevin Farmer struggled to get the big fights. Really, you know, they struggled to get those big.
Chain. The thing is, Bivol got the big names, but Bivol's so good that the guys evolved after he beat him.
But bro, I have to tell people, and I was telling this to Laurie. Laurie hates Bivol, by the way. He's a big hater of Bivol.
I like Laurie, man. Big shout out to Laurie, man. I have to convince him about Bivol. I gotta educate him on Bivol. Like sometimes when I disagree with somebody, it's not about like really proving them wrong. I'm just like I have to educate him on Bivol and why he's that good. Go ahead.
Some people forget that after 10 fights, he worked himself in a mandatory position to fight a unified Andre Ward. Remember, he was calling out Andre Ward after 10 fights, and he worked his way to become an interim WBA champion to become mandatory for Andre Ward, and Andre Ward retired. That is a fact. Who's doing that after 10 fights?
Yeah, Bivol would have gave Andre Ward hella problems.
Hey, did Badu Jack avoid that smoke too?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Marcus
That's
Brown.
a fact. And Marcus Brown.
And remember, you got to remember,
And
because
Zerto. And Zerto.
he didn't avoid it. Remember, he had that top rank situation, so they had to turn that fight down on the
that's
choice.
true. That's true. That's true.
But even he turned that fight down. So, bro, you gotta keep it real. Like Bivol, and you also gotta remember, bro, he signed to the zone to fight Beterbiev. Remember, he was with Cafe Duva and those guys, and Beterbiev was with the zone, and he had a 3-fight deal with the zone. But Bivol switched streets, like people always say, Crawford switched streets to get the Errol Spence fight. He switched streets, and then Beterbiev switched streets again. So, bro,
hey Shane, can you get to this comment, please?
All right, the Vlasov fight. Not 100% sure if he gets through that one. To be honest, now he'll get through.
Yeah, and I like Vlasov too. And I was on L Dub's channel, and we were telling everybody on his live, we like, yo, y'all sleeping on Vlasov. Like Vlasov's a good fighter, good style matchup.
You know that. Vlasov's actually a cruiser. He's a career cruiser. He actually fought Gorbatsky. Vlasov's actually a career cruiser.
Fought Zerto, and he lost to Chilema, but he got that one back. He's the one that fight with his hand like in front of his face, almost like that. Yeah, he's a tough fight. He's a good little technician, and he got an awkward, quirky style. But I think Joe Smith going to get through that though. He's gonna get through that.
Yeah.
The problem is the power and activity. That's the problem.
And he coming off of COVID, yo. And listen, the last couple guys that came off of COVID haven't really performed well. Heron, he didn't perform well. Burchett, he got stopped, you know what I'm saying? That crazy knockout. So it's some more that I can't think of right now. But
Gorbatsky as well. Gorbatsky had COVID.
And we're gonna see how Povetkin look this weekend. So I mean, hey.
Oh, that's a good fight.
That's an excellent fight.
I'm looking for Congo and McKinnon. That's my fight on that card.
Bro,
this is why we fuck with L.
That's my fight. I've been doing my research. And listen, Congo is underrated, bro. In this welterweight division,
that's our favorite fighter in the UK at 147.
Me and Jess been saying this for so long, bro. We've been saying Chris Congo. People have been talking about Josh Kelly. I said Chris Congo is the closest thing England has to American fighter.
He's nice.
He's nice.
He's long. He got inside game.
Yeah, he do. And that's the type of guy that, you know what I'm saying, he can creep up the ladder and Mike can do some things. Because a lot of the UK fighters, when they come over, they really have a hard time transitioning to winning some tough fights. I can see him coming over and winning some fights. And those guys we named
earlier, massive as well, bro. You're forgetting he's 6 foot.
Remember those guys we named earlier for Ortiz, the Ella Lusanov, and those guys, and who else we named? Even look, Avanesian would have a tough ass time against Congo.
Congo beats Avanesian.
Yeah, beat him.
Congo beats Avanesian.
Congo beats Avanesian.
I'm looking forward to that fight.
People don't know how good Congo is after this fight because people are actually thinking McKenna's gonna win. And I'm telling you, Congo too long, too wiry, too rangy, and too slick. That's what it is. Too slick.
Yeah, I'm ready for that fight. That's my fight right there on the weekend. I'm looking for that,
bro. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Conrad Boxing said yes. Congo fan club here too. 100%.
Hey, Congo, you got to take me off the general list, man, and add me to your primary on Instagram, man. I done left you a message, and you done left me hanging, but that's only because you didn't see the message.
I was gonna say, I know why Jeff likes him because Congo's what's it called? Congo fights like a Philly fight, and that's why I like him.
Yeah, that's why I like him. Hell yeah, he fight like a Philly fighter. Like he's the type of guy, like he operates off the jab, but he does multiple things off of the jab. And that's what I like about Congo. And his inside game being that wiry, that's what's gonna get him through a lot of fights. But yeah, he beats Avanesian right now. Like he beats him right now. Like, and that's actually, be honest with you, that's a very that's like, because I'm such a Dillian White fan, like of course I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's the fight of the weekend for me. Chris Congo, like that fight, that's the fight of the weekend for me. Go ahead, Shane.
Such a great fight versus Mickinson. Can't wait. Mickinson, I think, is 21-0, but obviously Mickinson hasn't fought no one of that caliber. The problem with Mickinson is he doesn't have great knockout power, and you gotta beat someone on points, and he's so good at winning rounds. You're kind of against the 8 ball already.
Yeah, and that's and winning rounds is a skill set. I tell people that all the time. Winning rounds is a skill set, and when you're great at winning rounds, you put pressure on the other guy before the fight even starts. You putting pressure on the guy before it even starts, man. But I listen. When we do these lives, when they get good, like I literally gotta cut them off because I'm like, yo, we gonna be here all night, chopping it up. And we had Ngabu and Coach Padman McGriff on. We was on for probably about a good, what was that, about 2.5? That was about 2.5 hours, Shane. It was about 2.5 hours. And I tell you, hey, Dub, I said, I got to cut this shit off before we, before we hear all night. Even Sengabu said, that's okay. He said, we can just end the live and just call each other. I said, this been a good combo, but I'm like, man, I'm not calling you. Where was he at? He was in
Belgium. He was in
Belgium. I said, Dub, we had to call him on the WhatsApp.
Right.
We had to call him on the WhatsApp. I said, you ain't running up my phone bill. Like, hell no. But listen, man, this has been a great live, man. And just to give people a little segue, this is what we do, like on this channel. Like you heard this live, you got nothing but straight boxing talk. No nonsense, no bullshit, no nothing. Like it, and that's what all three of us are all about. You go to L Dub channel, you listen to one of his lives, even if people in the comment section talking that nonsense, like L Dub will quickly mention it and like keep it moving. I like the way you do that shit too. Yeah. Like he'll quickly acknowledge it and then he'll go.
When am I gonna get a guest appearance in your life? L Dub. When am I gonna get a guest appearance in your life?
Hey, whenever you want to, man. I got you. Whatever.
Let
me know when you're ready. I got you, man. We can talk about it all day.
Yeah, that shit is crazy, man. Like it's really we really enjoy like having these types of conversations, and I'm like, it's only a matter of time before like the boxing heads is really gonna gravitate over to L Dub Boxing. They're gonna gravitate over to G5 Jeff TV. Stay Ready Boxing. That's another good channel. And I'm like, the real is gonna actually get to the top. And a lot of times that don't happen depending on the industry and things like that. But I firmly believe, I'm like, the real is gonna get to the top. It don't get no realer than the three of us. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel. And we're gonna segue with that. L Dub, please give them your social media. We appreciate you so much for stopping through, bro.
No problem, man. I appreciate you guys having me. Y'all can follow me on IG, L Dubs Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We talking about boxing over there. Hit me behind the scenes if you got a question or just want to chat about it. It's all good. Hit me on YouTube, L Dubs Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Dropping content, breaking down the rankings, fighters, fights, everything. You know what I'm saying? We get politics. We can debate if you like. We're doing a lot of things over there. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you guys. G5 Jeff TV, my guy. I appreciate you, bro. And Shane, the young monster. I appreciate you, bro. A lot of good boxing knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm growing too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not shy from growing and learning more stuff and taking other people's input and put it into my own, because I might use your same breakdown. So you might, hey, charge it to the game. I might use your same breakdown.
Listen. The thing that's crazy, L Dub, I got one prediction wrong. L Dub was like spot on. I forgot the fight.
Was it the Berlinga? Was it the Berlinga against?
It was a Berlinga fight. I was like, yo, I was just like, dude, gonna make it out the first round. L Dub was like, hell no. He was like, hell no, it's not gonna happen.
I said his fight, man.
Yeah, and I was like, I had to give it up. I'm like, L Dub. I was like, you was right on that one. And then with damn, fight at 122, Dub.
Was it Aleem? Was it Aleem?
Raees Halim, the
Okay.
Raees Halim fight. We were going back and forth on that.
Yeah, I had Padilla.
Pasillas. And I said, I said, Eileen punch variety is so awkward. I'm like, Pasillas is not gonna be able to see the shots. And that's exactly what happened. But that's a classic example of two boxing people kind of just going back and forth and just seeing things from different angles. And it's like Shane and I do the same thing. We do the same thing. Like we'll go back and forth on the situation. We was going back and forth on the Okolie fight. We was going back and forth in terms of what we were seeing. But eventually we was just like, yo, like once he figures out the southpaw style, like Glock is going down. You know what I'm saying? Like he's definitely going down. But that's what happens when boxing minds actually are sitting there breaking down technical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, L-Dub, we're listening to L-Dub. I think this, I mean, obviously I feel like this might sound a bit left, but obviously seeing L-Dub in person, it kind of helps the feel of the conversation even more, because visibly I can see where he's like his facial reaction to certain things, and I'm like, if I'm reading something out and someone says something extremely left, he's like, okay, you're just like some people fake it, and then some people just know they're boxing. You see my point? And you can't fake certain stuff. Like you can't fake the way you speak. And I feel like it's a massive breath of fresh air when it's L-Dub, because I love people who are willing to learn and willing to teach. And I always say this to people all the time. If I'm wrong, I'm the first one to say that I'm wrong.
And you can do both. You can learn, and people have a problem with admitting that. Like you can learn and teach. You can teach and learn. Like it's nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, in boxing is healthy and is needed. And me personally, what keeps me going in terms of pursuing the dream of just getting bigger. I'm like, and L-Dub, I'm pretty sure you see it too. We don't broadcast it, but we see it. Like you go look on YouTube, there's people that, I mean, they're averaging 200, 300 people in their lives. And it's like, all due respect to them. All due respect to them. And I'm like, and I'll even click in just to see if there's some talk going on that I like. 9 times out of 10, it's not.
Right.
Like it's some type of nonsense. And then it gets to the point to where even when they do talk some real shit, you so used to them talking nonsense, you don't even give them a chance when they're talking some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, this is something that Conrad Boxing said, love to listen to analysis from hardcore fans. Like that's really what it's all about. And Conrad came over from Boxing Lowdown's channel from out in the UK. So we're branching all the way out, so it's not just a US thing. It's not just an East Coast, West Coast thing. Like it's a UK thing. So I'm like, when y'all see all three of us together, I'm like, you got Cali in the building, you got Philly in the building, and then you got the UK in the building, and everybody's knowledgeable. And then when people get in the comment section, you can get yours off.
Yeah, definitely. It's also about intent, bro. Like, I don't like talking about anything other than boxing. When I'm if I'm on a channel, I don't actually like talking about politics because it's not interesting to me. I like my mind to create scenarios. Like when I'm talking about boxing, I like to be talking about boxing, and that's what it is. And when we're on this channel, it's always boxing. Like, as I said, literally every live, all we do is talk boxing. It could be that hardcore boxing. Like the other day, we were covering a fight that nobody in the whole entire. I don't know if L-Dub was covering it, so I could be wrong, but I didn't see anybody on my subscription list that covered that fight. That was what fight was that? That was the Wrong Versailles fight. Wrong Versailles.
No, I know Dub covered that. I know Dub covered that.
Yeah, I broke it down. I did a little breakdown video.
See, that's my point, though. That's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. He's a hardcore fan. Fan.
Yeah, I was mad I couldn't record this shit. I ain't even gonna sit up here and lie, man. That shit would have went through the roof. You know what I'm saying? But I just to segue into before we get up off of here, man. Just to segue tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is going to be 12:30 your time, Doug. We 2 hours behind now because our time moved up.
You said 2:30?
2:30 Eastern. Yeah. What time is it now? Where you at?
It's 5:55. So that'd be like 11:30. Yeah, 3 hours still.
3 hours still. So we gonna have Toriano Johnson on the channel.
Okay.
We're gonna have him tomorrow, 2:30 my time. So that's 11:30 Dub's time. Wednesday,
we still got Padman.
We got Coach Padman McGriff. He's
So
gonna be
starting a new segment on the show.
Yeah, it's called Coach's Confessions.
That's what's up.
We're gonna start it off with Coach Padman McGriff on Wednesday. Thursday, we got 2 Midwest guys. We got Jason Phillips from out of Iowa. We got middleweight Pacino Hill from out of Iowa. They're gonna be on the channel Thursday. And then pretty much Friday is open. We're trying to get Dan Aziz.
Dan Aziz or Jesse, one of those.
Yeah,
Aziz, that's the old school. He be dressing old school and shit like that with the hot.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so we trying to get him on for Friday, but that's what we have going on for tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we definitely have a packed house tomorrow. And my bro just came in the building. BoxingFirst Vlog just came in. What's up with you, family? I ain't gonna lie, a BoxingFirst Vlog. I had to call you out on that 4-0 Maurice Hooker thing, man. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go, man. But whatever I say behind closed doors, I bring it to the front porch. That's what I do. So, but you go ahead to explain yourself or that. But I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But this was a great live, man. Once again, L-Dub, we appreciate you jumping on, man. Like ain't no talk like real talk. When it comes down to the sport of boxing, man, we appreciate you stopping through. VP Shane, give him your social media, bro.
_I'm Shane the #1. Only on Instagram.
He's exclusive. It's only on Instagram. He said Twitter and Facebook got to work something out with him for him to come on their platforms, man. That's what he said.
I don't see their point.
Instagram is the only one that they the only ones that negotiated something with him. You know what I'm saying? But definitely tap in with L-Dub boxing on his channel. Tap in with us tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are gonna have Toriano Johnson on the channel. We're gonna be talking everything 160, 168, 175, and we're gonna catch up and see what's going on with him because it's the first time he's really doing an interview since the Munguia fight. And he took that nasty injury in the Munguia fight. So real good dude. So it's gonna be real interesting to see what he's talking about. But listen, on behalf of the bro L-Dub Boxing, VP Shane, my boy BoxingFirst Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, we are out.